Welcome back to my channel, Pretty Inspired Decor. My name is Shelley and I'm thrilled that you have joined me today to actually watch me decorate a tree, putting the ribbon on. This one I will do the loops and attach it to the branches. And so let's get started. So the first thing I do is I like to use two different ribbons if I'm going to loop the ribbons out, just because I think it looks nicer. You can certainly do 3 ribbons or 4 ribbons. If you don't have a lot of ornaments, it actually, ribbons will help you fill out your tree. I like to start my ribbon at the very beginning of the process. I know some people like to put it on at the end. I just find that if you put it on at the end, then you have to worry about your fragile ornaments. If you're dealing with ornaments that aren't breakable, then you certainly could, but again, you're trying to work around your ornaments. So for me, it's just the best to start first. So let's get started. You'll notice I've got my 2 ribbons. One of these ribbons is double-sided, this one, and this one is not. Okay, not that there's anything wrong with this side, but I just want to show you whether you use double-sided ribbon or a single-sided ribbon, you can make everything work. So let's get started, and I'll try not to put my back to you too terribly often. So you'll never know how much ribbon you need until you actually get started. I have a whole bunch of ribbon on the floor here. I don't know if you can see it, but I get started and I use my branches to actually clip it into the tree. Okay? So I take this, and I think it's important that you give yourself quite a loop. If you make it tight, it's not as pretty. So if you pull it out like this, and I tend to go on an angle, I don't tend to go up and down. So find another branch, pull your ribbon out, and just take the very tip of the branch, make sure there's no light on that branch, and twist it in, and then sort of pull your ribbon out a little bit like that. Then make sure that both, your ribbon is, the right side up, so to speak. Again, give it some space and find another branch and go around. Okay? Do this the same, pull it out, find another length of ribbon, go in and just take a branch and twist it in. Now, if you wanted to, I choose not to do this. You could also make bows. You could do this, and take your ribbon here and make a bow. You have to twist your ribbon and make a bow and actually put bows on your tree as you go. You could certainly do that as well, and it works really nicely. Because I have so many ornaments, remember I'm a maximalist, I'm not a minimalist, it doesn't work in my trees, but it is a nice look as well. You can actually, if you choose not to do the swag, maybe you don't have a lot of ribbon, you could just cut lengths of ribbon and put, maybe this much in, cut it, start over here, put a little bit more, cut it. You don't have to have a ton of ribbon to still make a tree look beautiful. I collect ribbon. This particular ribbon here I've had for years on this tree. This ribbon I bought at Costco a couple of years ago. I know they have it again this year, or at least in Canada. And it's not expensive. Neither one of these ribbons are expensive ribbons, because you don't have to use expensive ribbons. I always say for a tree, why would you? Unless you really, want to make it the star of your show. And even in this case, because I have really pretty ornaments for this tree, I still don't want my ribbon to be the absolute star of my show. I really don't. But you might, okay? Again, if you don't have many ornaments and that's your way to get started, that could be the star of your show, and it's a very, 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 very pretty look. Yeah, the first Christmas tree I ever had, I was in my early 20s, and I think I had 12 ornaments in total. I had a little 2.5-foot tree and decorated it and put a little bit of ribbon on it and put the few ornaments. I just thought it was so beautiful, and I knew from that moment on I was going to start collecting Christmas things, and my goal was to have a beautifully decorated Christmas home at some point. And you know, when you set a goal, eventually it very well could come true. Get to the bottom. You'll notice, you know, I really am not trying to make it look like, you know, there's an intended purpose. Then, because, you know, I don't want to cut it. Again, I could cut it, okay? I don't know that this is how I want to decorate the tree every year, and I do want to reuse my ribbon, but you certainly could cut it here, or as I said earlier, I just take this now, and I go to another branch, and I pinch it together and pull it up. So if you don't want to cut your ribbon, like I don't want to cut my ribbon, you just do that. And then you start going up. All right. If you are, like these trees are going in a corner, so I don't have to get the ribbon all the way around the tree. And you know, my experience is many trees go in corners of people's homes, so you don't have to go all the way around the tree. When my husband and I do the trees in the family room, in our principal bedroom, and in the living room, we do wrap those ribbons all the way around the tree. And you've seen what we've done in both the family room, if you've watched, you know, my previous videos, and you've seen what we've done in the bedroom. But if you're going to loop like this, and this does take more ribbon, then you certainly only have to do the looping where it's visible, all right, so that you can save, you know, a little bit of money and certainly some time. So again, you'll notice what I'm doing. Always twist your ribbon so that your good side of the ribbon is facing forward. You know, come in here, pinch your ribbon, take your branch, and bend it in and puff your ribbon out a little bit, just so that you can see that you've got two different types of ribbon, you know, going in your tree. Once you get to the top, same as at the bottom, right? Exactly the same as at the bottom. You just decide, I'm going to go up one more, maybe. You just sort of do that and then come down and twist. You know, you decide what works best for your tree and how it's going to be placed in the room. You know, because I've decorated my dining room, so again, look at what I've done here. I've just popped that out. Because I know what I'm going to be doing with this tree, I know how I want it to look. I know how I finished the other tree, so I have a good idea. You know, trial and error, that's what you do. At least that's what we do in our house. You know, my husband and I are always thinking of different things to do in our home, you know, even though we keep the color palette in each room, you know, standard every year, just because storage is an issue, obviously, how we're going to store things. And it also makes it easier if we decided we were going to change every room up every year. It would even take us longer to sort through everything. So this is just how we choose to decorate. You know, I know that some other people, they actually change everything in their home. We don't do that, you know, and I love what we do and how we have planned for our Christmas home over the years. So we kind of keep that standard. So I think that's too much of a loop there. Oh, I didn't like that. See, when you're looking at it, you'll see if you've made a little mistake. And you know, really, at the end of the day, when you put your ornaments on, you won't even notice if you've made any mistakes. So don't be too hard on yourself when you're putting ribbon on a tree. So I think you get the gist of what we're doing. I'm going to stop the video now, and the next time you see me, this will be in place. And then I'll show you how I decorate it. Well, as you can see, the tree is fully ribboned, so to speak. And you'll notice there are some gaps in it, and I'm good with that because I already know how I'm going to be filling this tree with ornaments. And you'll notice I've started also how I will decorate the rest of this side table here that's in the dining room. Now, we decorate this dining room with golds and creams, and there's a little bit of navy blue. I mean, you can see in my china cabinet, that china is navy, and I don't switch out that china for Christmas. I just don't. So we're going to show you now what the end result is going to be, because I did decorate the matching piece yesterday. So that's the goal. That's what we're working to achieve. Let's try to achieve that. Let's see if we can make it happen, make the magic happen. So the first thing that we do is put the tree topper on, and you'll notice I clearly didn't put that tree topper on because I'm not tall enough. So I actually had my husband do that. So I like to use, really fun and funky garlandy type stuff. So it's really, really pretty. And I start that at the top, and I just kind of let it do its thing as I'm working my way down the tree. So, you'll notice I just took a branch and I just twisted that in. And then I'll take this and I'll bring this over here. And again, I'll find a branch and I will just twist it in. So you'll notice, simple, easy peasy. I love using wired garland just because it gives the tree more dimension. If you've seen my other videos, you know that dimension is really important to us when we put together trees. We don't want our trees to just look like triangles. I want them to have dimension and almost look like there's some movement in the tree. So this is only a 4-foot tree. Yes, I have it on a table, but it doesn't mean you have to only use small ornaments. So you can certainly use, ornaments, and these are a decent size. I've got a lovely angel. I've got a couple of wreaths. I have a couple of these larger keys, a number of other things that are large as well. I like to start though by actually putting these big bells in. And what I do, because I always want to dig deep into the tree, is I go deep in my tree with these bells and I pop them in, all right, to fill in those spaces that are, that are blank, like that one there. Or I'll go in here and put it way deep into the tree, all right, just to give it that more dimension into your tree. If you decorate deep into your trees will be, they'll be more beautiful and you will be happier with the end result. If you only hang things on the end, you have no dimension into your tree. So take a look. Oh, I think I could use one up here, right? And if you find one you want to put in, and there's a ribbon already there, just unfurl the little branch and pop it in. It works. Your ribbons are well secured in there. Now I'll take these bigger ornaments that I talked to you about, and I'll start putting those in. To me, if you put your larger ornaments in, they'll again fill in some spaces, right? I didn't have ribbon there, and you'll notice I didn't panic about that. I'm going to put this little angel on because I want her to have some prominence at the front of my tree. I just think she's so pretty. So again, you'll notice you kind of stand them up. That's the glory of, really well-made trees. You'll notice what I'm doing as well. You can probably see that I'm twisting the branches for the large ones. Just to sort of make things work. And that way you can have them sitting the way you want them to. Look, doesn't that look pretty up there? I also have these ornaments which are really heavy. So these are crystals. I bought these off the shopping channel about 3 or 4 years ago. These are super, super heavy. You have to make sure that you balance them in your tree and that you have a tree with a really good base. Otherwise your tree's gonna topple over. But again, I do have to be careful because if I don't balance the heavy ones around the tree, they will topple. Okay, and in the evening again, these glass ornaments just glisten. Then I take, my other blown glass, just love these. I've always loved these. They're so pretty. You'll notice now I decided I'm going to have one of the ornaments just hanging low, and that's pretty too. Like, look how pretty that is, right? Then I've got some other little ornaments. You can actually use these ones for place cards on your table. I have lots of these that I do use for place cards, but these ones I just think because they fit the theme of this room, I just keep them on this tree, on these trees. So these, I only have 4 of these for each tree. You know, and I try to, you know, vary where they go and so that they do look pretty. Then I will, these are all little hand blown glass ornaments. They're gorgeous. They're again Kurt S. Adler. I love these. They're so pretty, and they're so fragile, so I don't have as many as I used to because over the years a couple have broken as I've been hanging them on the tree, so I try to be a tad more careful. Hopefully I won't break any on camera because that wouldn't be a good thing. Oh, I think I'll pat right here. So you'll notice what I've done here. I've got one ornament on the branch that went a little deeper, and then this one comes, this little rocking horse goes sort of right above it, and so you can have more than one ornament on a branch. If you have lots of ornaments, right, you can certainly do that. So I'm going to finish just putting these few ornaments on the tree, and then I'll be back. So as you can see, the tree is now fully decorated, pretty much laden, I would say. You know, my friend Melissa, who this entire series is dedicated to, would come into this dining room. She would just exclaim how beautiful it is. And she loved all this cream and this gold. She thought it was so pretty. And she would come and she would examine the trees and look at all the individual ornaments and absolutely loved it. And then she would, you know, go home and tell her husband what he needed to do with their tree, which of course always made me laugh. The last thing I do is, again, I want to give this tree even more dimension. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I do. So I take, if you recall, if you watched my fall videos, you saw that I had this really pretty garland from Michael, and I'm going to just pop this in. And I think it's 5 feet long, so it's not that long. And so what I'll do is I will come in here and pop it in. So I did have to move a couple of ornaments to get this in. So you'll notice, again, I try to just let it go how it naturally goes, but you do have to secure this kind of garland into your tree. So I just take little ends like this, and I actually just bend the branches to get them in, because you wouldn't want anybody to walk by and then, you know, pull the whole tree down. So if you take your, you know, your ends that are sticking out the most and secure those. The last thing I do when I take a look at my vignette is I need to figure out what am I going to do at the bottom of my tree, because you know I do like to decorate the bottom of my tree. So I'm not sure that this will be the final result, but I'm just going to show you what I could do. Maybe I could put some ornaments up on that cake plate with it all. I have these 2 gorgeous Patience Brewster candlesticks that I just love with the little shoes. I keep them out all year. Put another one of these little fairy plates out. I just love them. And then I've got a little angel to sort of match what's going on the other tree, and another little funky tree. I think I'm kind of liking it, but again, I won't know until the whole room is done. So until next time, I hope you click the button to subscribe, give me a thumbs up because I like that, and as well leave me a comment. If you have not already done so, please hit the notification bell so that you get notification of future videos. I hope you've enjoyed watching me decorate a tree. Bye-bye.